Hello, Assalamu alaikum, Namaste, Sat Shri Akal, and
Ni hao.
Ni hao. Welcome to the third episode of The Bright Side, and this time we have actually changed our plans. We are going to be introducing our episodes from now on in English, actually,
Yeah.
so that we can reach out more audience
Yeah.
and more public. So you know me, Mehdi Jiwani, you know him,
Yeah,
Waqar,
Waqar,
Bajwa.
Bajwa. How are you all?
What's the topic about today?
It's really an interesting topic today we have, and but most important we have really important guest here with us.
Uh-huh.
So let's move towards her. Let's not steal her time there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Actually, we're going to be talking about mental health problems in this episode, and which is a very increasing concern nowadays with teenagers of universities and colleges. So, without further ado, I would like to introduce my guest, Miss Emily over here. Hello, ma'am. How are you
Hi.
doing?
How are you?
Thank
Thank
you
you
for
so much,
inviting
ma'am, for coming. Thank you so much for taking out your time.
Yes.
But this topic was, a really important talk
Exactly.
about.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, let's start with your introduction. Tell us about yourself, ma'am.
Okay, my name is Emily.
Hmm.
I have been the student counselor here at APU since 2016.
Amazing.
Right. It's your third year then.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how was your experience? How was everything here? How you have experience here?
I think people are coming to counseling. It is a service that is very much needed in the university setup, especially. And I am glad that it is now common knowledge that there is this counseling center that is available at the university.
Because for the first time when I came to know that we have some counselor here, I was really surprised.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And we are really thankful to APU for giving us the space where we can talk about our frustrations and everything, because we have a lot of mental health students here.
Mhm.
So let's start with the thing, like where we can walk through the audience,
Yes.
like what is mental health, and then we can
Yes.
go towards the solutions and everything.
You heard him. So
Yeah.
that's our first question. What's mental health?
Well, mental health, there are two aspects of mental health. One is mental health where your well-being, it is about your well-being, just like you have your headache, or, you have your toothache. That's like your well-being. But mental illness is something like someone having a diabetes, someone having cancer, for example. Those are clinically diagnosed mental health illness.
But ma'am, these are, I guess, the physical problems like having diabetes or having headaches. So how are they even related to mental health?
Yeah, because people have the fraction in between, like first of all, in most of the society, it's like a taboo.
Mhm.
Like again, I was with you yesterday, and we were talking about how people are afraid to talk about the mental health problem, and you gave me the example that you just did now, that it is same like you have pain in your arm, pain in your you have headache and everything. So what do you say, how people need to understand that this is same like the other thing, the mental health?
I guess the thing is that we have to start thinking about mental health in a way that is not prejudicial and discriminatory, isn't it? Because sometimes when we hear people say that they are having depression, and the first thing that people say is he is depressed. So that person is kind of defined by the illness rather than that the person is actually has depression. And it's just like someone who has diabetes.
Okay.
So we don't say that person is that diabetic is that person. Because mental illness and mental health well-being, it is treatable. It is preventable in some ways.
So before we move to the next question, tell us about the common phrases people use towards people like who are going through the depression and everything.
It's the language that people use to kind of stigmatize or being prejudicial or discriminatory. Is he or she is crazy.
That's a very common thing.
Mentally retarded, those kind of
Yeah.
words. That is very it already become something that makes you feel as though you are an outcast.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes,
exactly.
that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
It actually makes them think that they're actually not part of our society.
Exactly.
Like, they're just
Exactly.
they're just out of it. And then, first of all, they're already facing some problems, right?
Yeah.
They're already depressed. They're already going through something bad.
Yeah.
And then the people start actually calling out them with names or discriminating them,
Yeah.
or being literally cruel towards them.
Yeah.
And
In
that-
short, people really insensitive towards them.
exactly, people are
that
insensitive
is
to
right.
us.
Insensitivity
Yeah.
and not being able to empathize with the person who is actually having those illness,
Yeah. But
illnesses.
now the thing is that what causes that illness? What causes that? Especially if sorry to interrupt you, but if I would ask, I want to ask you not about the general people. I want to ask you about the people of my age group, his age group,
Oh.
people who are especially studying in universities, colleges, schools, and I mean these days, especially we have seen that in 2018, in 2017, in these recent years, that a lot of people are facing these problems, which the ratio was actually low in the early years, but in these years the ratio has gone high.
Yeah.
So what do you think is the actual cause for that?
So we are not talking about people who are clinically diagnosed with schizophrenia.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
all that.
yeah,
We
why
are
not?
talking about people who have general anxiety.
Yeah,
and
mild depression and
yeah, mild depression. Majority of it probably is because of the your expectation of yourself. And then expectation of others, which you are trying to meet, and pressure from parents, pressure from peer pressures, wanting to see yourself in the lens of others rather than seeing yourself in your own lens, not being able to put that boundary between where you can actually see what you are capable of and what that is expectation of others of you.
You explained it really well.
I mean,
Because we have been talking about this topic that what makes you tensed in these days is the thing how other people see us.
exactly.
And
Exactly.
yesterday we were discussing, and I asked ma'am, like, I'm gonna make a statement, tell me how it is it. And my statement was, most of the things, anxiety, depression, is because we are living on others' expectations.
Yep.
And we are trying to see us from others' eyes.
Yes.
And that's why we don't know where are we going, so we don't know the destination. That's
Exactly.
making us
Exactly.
tense.
I mean,
Yeah.
for example, if that's a very common example in our society, that if there's a child who is scoring less grades, right? Even if he's he's got some good skills in something else, but the parents are gonna compare that kid with someone's else kid, and then that's what you're doing. You're actually expecting your kid to be like that kid. Why not look your kid as what he is? I mean, give him the opportunity to actually open up. Okay, if he's bad at studies, help him out, but try to explore what other skills he's got.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That is a very, very good example. And recognizing what you are good at, and then improving on something that you may need help with.
Exactly.
Someone was sharing the other day that sometimes they feel like they are this trophy in their family. Something that the family kind of want to display.
Yes.
You're very good at this. You're very good at that. But then when the child or the child kind of failed once, that's so unacceptable.
Exactly.
So can I say it's because they think they are entitled to some success, and entitlement, the expectation
Who,
of
the parents or the
success.
child?
No, the child.
The child,
Yeah.
again, it is that trying to fulfill
Yeah.
the expectations
Expectations
of
of
others,
others, right.
and then you beat yourself up because my parents have done me so much of given me this much, and I need to be doing this to repay them. And that is also actually kind of perpetuated by the way how parents then encourage a child to think that way, instead of helping the child to think you are doing the best as you can.
Exactly.
And it's acceptable that sometimes life you do kind of fail sometimes.
Yeah,
exactly.
If
It
without
happens,
Failure is part of
failure,
life. Failure is part of life. People need to accept this thing that okay, failure is part of life, and failure is there,
Yeah.
so that you can learn from it, you can grow from it, you can become mature from it,
exactly.
and then you take the right steps in your life.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Because who has never failed before?
Yeah. Before we started this episode, we were discussing, and he was saying the same thing that we were discussing that day. He was like, I don't share my problems with people
Yeah.
just because I feel weak. The
Yeah.
same thing, and she explained it really beautifully. And after 1 hour discussion with her, when I got home, I really felt weak. I confess to my audience, I really felt weak. But it is same like you're going to gym. It is same like you are spilling the water out and filling it with some new liquid. It's a recovery process. When you share things, do you agree?
Yes, that is.
Yeah.
When you share things, you obviously feel weak.
Exactly.
Yeah. Then
Exactly.
but then you recover. Then you are stronger one step. So that is so beautiful. And I really felt good when I talked to you.
Yeah, sometimes it doesn't have to be a therapist or counselor
Yeah.
that you actually talk to. If you trust your friend who is able to empathize, the empathy is the key word. It's saying I understand where you're coming from, or I understand what you are going through, rather than I know you are going through this, but then that is not empathy.
That's
Yeah,
not
yeah,
empathy.
exactly.
Exactly.
I'm gonna make the snippet from here for 1 minute when she said empathy is the key.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Empathy is the key. Empathy
Yeah.
is the key. I mean, why just say that? Oh, come on, dude. It's part of life. Let's move on with it. I mean,
Yeah.
that's not a good phrase to
Yeah,
use with
that's
someone.
not empathy actually.
That's
yeah.
not empathy exactly.
Yeah.
Empathy is when you try to relate to that thing which he's trying to describe.
Yeah.
That okay, I'm going through this in my life. Even if you cannot, if you cannot actually counsel him with good words, try to be a good listener to that person.
Exactly.
I mean,
Good.
people want you to listen. Actually, people. I mean, there are people who do expect something in return that okay, he's gonna say some soothing words to me. But even if that's not there, even if you're trying to speak out or reach out to someone, be a good listener to them.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a very
least you can do. Yeah.
exact. I mean, that's the most bravest part of that person who is trying to speak out. I mean, it's really difficult in these times to actually talk to someone about what we're going through. And he's being so brave in this matter. He's coming up. He's sharing your problems with you. Be a good listener to him. If you cannot say some good
So
words to him.
you have been dealing with international students. How you tell them how to battle the homesickness, because it is the basic thing they battle in first 4 to 6 months.
Alright. Usually, what I do is I explore with them what I in this situation right now. What can you do? Because thinking about home, of course, homesickness is something that you have to kind of adapt yourself to the new environment. So we discuss or explore about what are the interesting things that you can kind of bring yourself to be interested in. So like sites, going for sites, joining activities of your community, getting involved with like your community, and the thing is, if you are missing people back home, then being in the same community for a short while,
Exactly.
that's
Yeah,
what
that's really
helps
nice.
you to get over that
Yes.
homesickness.
Yes.
Yeah, you're totally right. I think let's move towards the last part of the episode, and my question is, what how should we behave towards someone? How should we handle someone? Because we are not professionals, obviously, but how we should behave towards a problem.
I want to add some part to this
Yeah.
question too. That I want you to ask that what should be the preventative measures for a person who is suffering that, and for a person who is actually meeting the suffered person.
Yeah.
What should be the measures for both of them?
So what you are saying is, if you are coming into contact with someone whom you suspect is
Yes.
having
Yes.
issues with mental health, first of all, of course, be there, be empathetic, and give the listening ear. And if it gets too much, because like you say, you are not kind of trained in that area, right? Then you can provide information where to seek help, and it's okay to go and talk to counselors or therapists. And even if for people who who may need medication, for example, clinically diagnosed, then go and talk to psychiatrists. Treat it as something that if you have a toothache, you go to a dentist.
Yes, exactly.
Something.
This is what people need.
I mean, people don't accept the mental illness as an illness. People think that, okay, just unlike other illness, it's something else.
Yeah.
It's something really, big, or either they consider it very big, so they're scared to approach someone, or they consider it so small that they're really careless about it.
Yeah, because
and then it grows with time, it grows and grows, and it gets really bad. And then there comes a point when you're not easily able to approach people around you. You're not easily able to talk.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen people losing confidence because of this. People literally messing up with their grades, with their results, and just because of this, because they consider this thing as it's a very light thing. It's just a small thing. Okay, we're gonna get over this thing.
So the thing is, sometimes you feel like you are stuck in a situation because you can't see a way out, and because you are thinking about it yourself, so you kind of exhaust your own resources in that sense, and talking to someone else and sharing what is the issue like, and someone can kind of give you, hey, how about looking at it from this perspective?
Perspective.
Perspective. Exactly.
So in this environment, this is what I do on my behalf. That's what I told you when we first met. That I ask everyone, okay, how are you? Whenever I see someone sad, I was like, hey, how are you? I really want to talk on this topic, and Mehdi really wanted to talk on this topic, but what happened again? The problem is we are not professionals. That's why we have called for the bigger perspective, for the bigger thing, and we're really grateful you are here. And I would say we should continue this thing. We should continue time by time, after 4 or 5 episodes.
I mean, we should talk about some bigger pictures inside mental health issues, and then issues which are connected to this mental illness problem.
We can really be specific.
I think both of you are, you guys, your team are doing very great things here.
Thank you so much.
Helping to make this awareness about mental health.
Because that's really important. I have been through things, not really extreme, but some mild kind of things, and I think these things should they can be tackled very carefully.
I mean, it's just my level 1 right here. In first semester, definitely I was feeling homesick, right? But again, the approach which you told, I adopted the approach which you told, that you should be around your people so that you can overcome that point. So that's why I just came into contact with my Pakistanis which are around in university. I mean, my very first friends were not the international people; they were Pakistanis. Exactly, and
that's natural.
I don't feel literally. I mean, people do think that if you're going abroad, you should make more international friends as compared to the friends which are from your hometown. But I had an opposite approach because I had to get out of that thing. I had to work on myself. That's the thing. So that's really. I mean.
Because in the beginning you start with that.
We start with that.
Yes. And then we grow up, and then we did start overcoming problems little by little, and then we expand our sources and everything like that. Exactly.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for joining us. We really want to continue this thing, and we really want to go, specific on topics and everything. We really appreciate you here.
All the best with your.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much, and thank you so much for the viewers, listeners, for listening and for tuning up in the episode 3. Are there any announcements to make for people?
No, we have billiard tournaments or pool tournament or snooker
tournament
in January, and we have paintball tournament in February, and we have futsal 3.0. This time it will be bigger, 32 teams. Just bring your teams, and that's it. And Merry Christmas to all of you, and an advanced Happy New Year. Happy New Year.
See you soon in episode 4. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.